What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wait What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 75. My name is Bret, aka Enigma 911, and today we're flying solo. Flying solo for 75. Just figured I'd chat about some stuff that I've been doing and that's been going on with me. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. I've been listening back to old podcasts, thanks to Steve. Who was on the last two podcasts. He kind of made the recommendation with the little Q&A back in 73, just asking if I'd listened back to him. And I think it was a really nice suggestion, and I think it was good. So I've been listening back to a lot of different podcasts, and I don't know, I'm enjoying hearing myself. That sounds weird. I don't know. It sounds much better than I think it is when I'm actually producing it or creating it, I guess. So it kind of boosted self-confidence. So I don't know if I'm going to do more solo episodes. It's always more fun with people, but I feel more confident doing a solo episode, I guess is what I should say, after hearing myself through a couple of these. So not as nervous or overwhelmed, I guess you could say, for doing the solo podcast. But anyways, remember, guys, you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 every other Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat, join on the conversation. We'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, that is okay. It is put out the following week over on youtube.com. Search Enigma911, as well as SoundCloud, where it's put out topic by topic and as one big video and MP3 the following Friday. If you guys ever have a topic for us or even a podcast guest that you'd like to see, you can leave it in the comment section down below, and we'll try our best to get to that topic and get your guest on. And last but not least, actually two things. Merch store. Merch store. You get all of your swag over there, t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us. It'd be greatly appreciated. But remember, the store is not going to be around that much longer, so please take advantage of that. And then last but not least, Extra Life is coming up. As of recording, it is 2 weeks away. So that would be November 21st, 12 noon Eastern. 24 hours of gaming, trying to help out the kids at local Children's Miracle Network hospitals, raising money for them. 24 hours of games, 24 hours of shenanigans, having fun. If you could help out the cause by either donating or spreading the word, we thank you very much for that. So please, 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 anything you can do to help, tune in, whatever. That'll be on the 21st of November, once again, at 12 noon. And speaking of Extra Life, just a little shout out. As of recording today, it is technically Extra Life's game day. I just want to give a shout out to all the content creators that are doing Extra Life streams right now. Kind of Funny Games. Jeff Reg is crushing it right now. Also, I believe the Rooster Teeth community is either doing theirs this week or next week. But there's a lot of people out there streaming right now for their Extra Life streams, raising money for a good cause. So shout out to them. You're doing an awesome job. And thank you for what you guys are doing. So yeah, rolling on to the podcast. Some topics. Like I said, I have been doing a lot. Not a lot. I've been doing some stuff for myself. So at work, a little backstory here. At work, I have a lot of free time to listen to more podcasts. Personally, I'd mentioned, obviously, I've been listening to myself a little bit more recently, but I've been picking up on some more wrestling podcasts and listening to those, but I've also listened to the New Day podcast. And recently they did a miniature bracket of action movies, and they were ranking those and talking about them and discussing. And I really enjoyed the bracket, and as I was listening, I was just realizing I haven't really watched a lot of these movies. And granted, like, a lot of them were 80s movies, not that that's super old, but obviously a little bit past my age bracket. But yeah, there was a couple of movies in there that I was like, everybody talks about these movies, maybe I should go back and try and watch them. So ones that stood out from their list that I was like, I should try and watch those. They talked about, it was mainly action movies they were talking about, but they had some variety in their topics as well, or in the, whatever you want to call it, the bracket as well. So they didn't talk about all of these movies, but most of them. Aliens, Predator, Alien vs. Predator, Bloodsport, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future wasn't in that list, but I just threw it in here as well. The Fifth Element, Mad Max, Thunderdome, Mad Max Fury Road, And I think they also talked about Terminator 1 and 2, talked about Total Recall, and they talked about Mission Impossible Fallout. So a lot of those movies I had not seen before. I think the only one I had was Bloodsport. I've seen Back to the Future. I've seen the first one. I've seen bits and pieces of Indiana Jones here and there. I think I've watched Alien 1, but I don't remember entirely. But anyways, I was kind of not going out of my way. I was trying to make it a goal to go back and watch some of these movies. So for my topic, long story short, is I want to talk about some of the movies that I have watched since being inspired by that episode, including some of those movies as well as some other stuff that I've just been watching either with Kate or solo. So yeah, starting off the list, the first one I found, I think it was on Netflix, was Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was good. It was a good movie. It was very confusing at times and kind of creepy. They went with a lot of practical effects. And they're in space and they're showing like occasionally the characters kind of like don't have oxygen and whatever, and the effects that takes on the characters, holy crap, those, I don't know, puppets or whatever you want to call it, just disturbing as all hell. So watch Total Recall. Like I said, it was pretty good. Some of the story elements were a little confusing, just trying to keep track of like, wait, which consciousness are we talking about now? Or there was the memory chain of like, this is the present, this isn't the present. So it was a whole smorgasbord of stuff, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad. Terminator 1 and 2. I watched both of these back to back. I think both were on Prime. So I watched those. Terminator 1 was really good. I enjoyed that one. The guys on the New Day podcast were saying that Terminator 2 was like way better. I think it was better in the fact of like they had a little bit more personality, like obviously Arnold being a good guy in Terminator 2 compared to being the bad guy. Seeing his dynamic and relationship with John Connor, the kid, throughout the movie, I think that was a little bit more entertaining compared to the first one, where it was just more like this manhunt type thing. T2 obviously does the same thing. It's still the Terminator hunting him down, but I think that made it more entertaining. I did kind of pass out a little bit in the third act of Terminator 2 because it was really early or really late, however you want to think about it. But I did see the finale. I think I just missed, like I said, that lead up to it. But yeah, both were good. I don't want to say amazing, to be honest. But they were solid. Let's see, what else did I watch on that list? I talked about Bloodsport. I haven't rewatched it, but I did watch that one. That was a recommendation I got years ago from an instructor, and that was good. I really enjoyed that one. Cameron and I actually talked about it way back when. I don't remember what podcast episode it was, but obviously whatever it was based on is a bunch of baloney. So that's unfortunate, but the movie itself is good and entertaining with Jean-Claude. But yeah, crap. Why am I blanking? Hold on. I think that might actually be it that I've watched from that list, specifically from that bracket. I talked about Alien. I think I've watched Alien. Those of you guys who know me, I'm a bit spooked easy. So I'm kind of, I want to watch it, but I'm very hesitant to watch it. And it sounds from like the first one's the more horror-based one, and then they go more sci-fi in the second and third one if I'm going to watch the third one. I can't find Predator anywhere on a streaming service. AVP I found. The Indiana Jones, I believe, are all on... It's either Netflix or HBO. It's on one of those. Same with the Back to the Futures. Those ones I gotta watch. Fifth Element I haven't found. Same with the Mad Maxes. I think I found OG Mad Max on Netflix, but I don't know. I'm debating if I want to do the whole series of that, or if I just want to do Thunderdome and Fury Road. Kate has recommended Fury Road, and I heard a lot of good things when that did come out. And then the guys seemed to very amped up about Thunderdome. They were quoting things left and right and just very passionate about it. So want to give it a try. So yeah, at least from that bracket, those are the ones that stood out. And I've been enjoying going back and, like I said, finally watching these, because some of them you hear about all the time, like, oh, this movie's great, this movie's great, this movie's great. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people who could ask, oh, did you see this movie? And I'd probably say no. And it's supposed to be like either this big movie or cult classic or whatever it is. So it's kind of nice to, sounds weird, but check them off the list and be like, yeah, I have seen that. And, you know, one is good. I don't need to go back and rewatch it or whatever. I'm satisfied with that. So yeah, those movies and that bracket kind of inspired this topic. So those are ones specifically from that. Other stuff that I've been watching. Okay, this one definitely will spark some like, ooh, because I told Kate I watched this and she was absolutely disgusted that I kind of liked it and it was fine. But I watched the live action Death Note on Netflix, and yeah, I know a lot of people hated on it, and some people watched like 10 minutes of it and then had to stop. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, was it the best thing ever? No. Was it cinematic, fucking masterpiece? Absolutely not. But it was fine. They took some liberties and mixed up the story, which is fine. I think it made it a little bit more intriguing and interesting to watch, not knowing every story beat, compared to obviously the anime. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I'm ready for your comments down below and how much of an idiot I am, but I thought it was okay. I thought I had a good time with it. And then what else have we been watching? We've been watching My Hero, but we're going to be talking about that more in depth on a different podcast, aka the next episode. So stay tuned for that. And then we had a trial for HBO, so we've been trying to watch some of their programming. So I've watched Watchmen. I started it. I think it's only the one season, so I just haven't gone back to it and watched more. I watched the first 2 episodes. That show is really good and really dark and kind of unsettling at times, just with all the racist overtones, I guess, or at least what the main character has to deal with. Like, it's essentially the villains are the KKK, and I was like, geez, oh boy. But yeah, I've watched the first 2 episodes of that. It's really good, like you said. Like I said, it was just unsettling at times. So I think that was maybe why I kind of, stepped away from it and took a break. But I'd like to go back and finish season 1. I think the guys, the New Day, actually also talked about Watchmen on their podcast. Was it? It must have been a different episode when they were doing the TV bracket. But Big E was really into it. And selling it hard. So I think he's definitely right. It's really good. And if you enjoy superheroes or if you enjoy action drama, I don't know what you want to call it specifically, but I would definitely recommend it. And then last but not least on HBO, we also been watching Westworld. I don't want to go too much in depth just in case Kate wants to talk about that as well, but Westworld has like hooked us super hard. We got through season 1 relatively quick. I want to say in a couple days. And then we are 2 episodes away from finishing season 2. It's 3 seasons out right now. I know at some point people get really against it. I don't know. We weren't obviously watching it in the here and now, but apparently at some point people just like, oh, it's not good anymore, blah, blah, blah. We're still loving it. We're still hooked to it. It's funny, like some things I just kind of can pick up on, it seems, and I'll call out randomly, not even like 100% thinking it's the case, but it turns out to be, and I'm, what? But then there's also big twists and turns where we've just gotten sidelined, and it's really entertaining. Just kind of seeing like all the woven web unroll and kind of everything lines up, like this character has done this, like this all makes sense of story, but like it was kind of hidden, or they kind of told it in a different way that didn't make it super clear. So that twist element, I guess you could say. But yeah, I don't know. Those have been some things that I've been watching and we've been watching recently that we've been really invested in. I can't think of anything that like was bad that we've been watching recently. We've tried a couple things here and there, like shows, but I wouldn't say any of them are bad. It's just like, nah, let it go, let it pass. Like I've also had her try. So we have lists that we've talked about in the past of like, these are all the movies we should watch, either my recommendation or her recommendation, and same with TV shows. So there's been a couple of mine that we've tried where it was a show, and she's like, yeah, she gives me the look of like, are you serious? Not like that it's bad, just like, you're an idiot, and it's fun. So there's been a couple of those that we've tried that just haven't hooked. But yeah, I wouldn't say any of them have been bad. So I'm interested to keep going through the list. Like I said, Alien series, Predator series, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, kind of going back to those, either seeing them for the first time or rewatching them and actively remembering or paying attention, I guess you could say, to the entire film, and having that under my, I don't know what's the thing I'm looking for, but whatever, having those in my repertoire. So yeah, that's topic one for you. Just what I've been watching, what's been going on this past couple weeks to month, how I'm spending my free time other than playing games and stuff.